I just said something really happened weird to me. But, that's the whole point. We're all supposed to kind of be looking out for each other, but, it's hard to do it. So recently, the last 2 weekends, I started working 2 jobs to try to inflation and everything. And, my wife's sick, so we eat out a lot, which costs a lot of money. But, it's hard for her to cook. Y'all keep her in your prayers. But she has a lot of health problems. But the main thing, her heart valve doesn't want to work and pump the blood, so that they can't go in there. If it a experimental procedure, they might be able to put a new valve in. But right now, they try to go in there with a balloon and blow her up, and they've done it twice. But so she's doing pretty good. She's weak. Today she got kind of nausea, so I don't know if it's related, but they keep saying she's having panic attacks. So she gets to where it's hard for her to breathe and all, but I think it has something to do with her heart. She had a 5 bypass in 2011, and and she's had like seven stents since then. And then they went in there, and one of her heart caths that went in there to look at things, she ended up having almost lost her leg right when I lost my job in 2020. So she's come a long way. She shouldn't be here, but she quit smoking in 2019 when she aspirated. We went to Cookout, and she swallowed some okra, and she was in the ICU and on the ventilator before all this going on now for 7 days. But they let me go back, and she went in right before the Super Bowl in 2019, and she woke up probably like Saturday and said, well, I guess you can watch the Super Bowl. And I said, well, baby, that was last week. So she quit smoking cigarettes. She's been smoking forever. But anyway, we've been fortunate. Even though it costs money for food, I've had some good stuff happen to me. So I don't need anything. I'm doing good. And, usually when you don't know, when people come up to you and you don't know what their intentions are, because just recently, some bad people take advantage of the situation and they hurt people. So you're kind of scared to do anything. And there was 2 homeless people that beat up a woman that tried to help 2 homeless people right here in Aiken. So be careful. If it's a situation where you are going to be compromised or vulnerable by yourself, don't do it. I took a chance. There's this guy, he's on a skateboard, looks pretty healthy. I don't know what his story is. But we're all like 1 or 2 paychecks from being on the street. Most of us don't have a savings plan, and we're struggling to get by, and then things are like 40% higher. So it's taking everything, and you could just tell, kind of like, all this stuff happens, and I think it's controlled by design, but all this stuff happens, and it's like it wants to pull everybody apart, or there's some bigger agenda going behind, because a lot of stuff happened, and that guy who was a lot of stuff was happening behind the scenes that courts and everything, they didn't talk about it. They talked about everything else going on, all the riots and everything, but they kind of used it as a smokescreen. Yeah, but you never know. It's all about the money. Wherever you make money, people pay for wars, whatever. But we had to do our little part. So eventually things are going to happen anyway. It's biblical. But this guy, he was skating at McDonald's, and he just kind of looked at me. I guess he was judging me to see what I do. And then I went to the drive-thru. He said, hey, man, he said, I ain't proud. He said, I wash your car. I wash your car at the car wash for a sandwich. I said, no, you ain't got to worry about that. I said, what do you want? And I never do this because you never know, because people come up to me all the time when I'm getting gas. You never know if people just using you, because everybody's wanting something for nothing or not wanting to work for it and try to steal from it, So you got to be careful. But he kind of got me. I mean, he's in pretty good shape riding a skateboard, so probably he's done some stuff he shouldn't be doing. But I bought him a plain cheeseburger, and money's kind of tight for me. I wouldn't be working 2 jobs. And he told me his name, and I told him his name, and I said, well, bless you, his name. And don't want to embarrass him if he's going through a temporary thing, or he might get better. I've seen some people, unfortunately, they're not here with us anymore. They didn't get better, but some people have actually gotten better. So, there's a chance, and you never know which way people are going to go. I was in college one time, and I didn't do good at that time, but I did later. But there was a guy that, first time away from home, he started going out playing pool and drinking and started missing class, and then he just, most of it was his own doing, but he ended up, almost doing something to himself permanently, and he had to get some help. So, I mean, it doesn't take much to break a person, so I did my little part. You're not supposed to let the other hand know what you're doing, but in this case, I just wanted to share it, because I also do this for my family and my future family, or, anybody in the world wants to see it. It's worldwide. And when Tesla gets all these satellites up in space, and 30-something% of the world has internet, they're going to be wondering, who in the world? What's this guy talking about? But, hopefully they'll figure it out. I just keep posting. I have a good time at it. Keep seeing new subscribers, so that's cool. Some of the craziest videos I do, so, maybe my kids always said me doing this right here, I'm really boring, but I try to be interesting. But I'm trying to do more funny stuff too, so if the boring stuff drives you crazy, just watch the funny stuff. I'll try to do more funny stuff, or comment. Some people have commented like, don't follow this guy, I warned you all, and some of the stuff that got a lot of views, I wasn't expecting to get a lot of views. Like I was talking about, I put the title in text, and I put buckets in the ceiling. Well, it's that stuff I actually talked about, but I guess they were expecting something else, but I couldn't show it because it's work, because you can't show work stuff. You ain't even supposed to have a cell phone. So I talked about what I seen, but I didn't really give too much of the stuff away, so, but it kind of touched me, this guy, I said, well, and then I got some good news today, which, I graduated in 2018, so a lot of people probably won't make it this far, and with my little degree in bachelor's in business administration with an emphasis in accounting, and I even went to the CPA organization, which was free as a student, but it costs money, and you go like once a year, and you get chapters and meet with other CPAs, other firms, and I did that, but I didn't have experience or an internship, and Columbia was a long way, and at the time, my wife, health problems, I thought I might be transferring with my company to Atlanta as an analyst, but then they switched gears on their business trajectory and went with more of the programming side and streamlined their staff, kind of like what they're doing now with all the tech companies and all. They're being more profitable, getting rid of all the labor, because even though somebody makes 70, 80,000, you get benefits. Sometimes you can get another 30,000. So the company's paying like time and a half for every hour you work, even though you don't bring that home, and you're not being taxed on it. So you got to get some benefits working for somebody. If you make decent, you'd have to really work your butt off if you got a business. But that's where the wealth is having a business. But anyway, got my little degree, and the guy's even retired when I got my degree in 2018, and he's already retired. So all these guys that were helping me are retired now, and I'm fixing to be 51. So I still got a little ways to work, because I can't just quit on fumes. So somebody finally called me in for an interview, so I'm excited. I am scared to death. Woo! like a account receivable position. So, hopefully I'll learn. I'll probably have to work over a lot. I think it's salary, so I won't get paid, but I have to learn all the software and technical stuff. But shoot, if I make a YouTube channel, I ought to be able to learn that. The only next phase would be to learn coding. There's all this TikTok stuff where you go to school and you don't pay till you get the job. But, I don't even know if that's legit. There's so many things on there, people promoting business because it's such a hot platform. It might be legit, who knows. But I'm excited. So, I got that news today. That's probably why I bought the guy a cheeseburger. I said, okay. Because I'm getting old and hands cramping now and wobbling when I stand. And I'm trying to still take care of myself. I got a little 3-year-old grandbaby and I want to be around. And I got to be around for you guys to put out more content because I made like 208 videos. I'd like to make as many as I can. I'd like to hit at least the 10,000. And, we went to, my wife wanted 2 unsweet teas, one with a lot of ice, one light ice. But I ordered on Little Caesars and I couldn't remember my password. So I got 2 orders of little chicken wings and got her a thin crust cheese pizza. And one of the chicken wings just flew off and hit the floor, but luckily it stayed in this package. So, I'm excited. I got to buy a guy a cheeseburger and he got some good news. So, just be careful. I went through the drive-thru and he's standing there and I just handed him a bag like doing DoorDash. Except it was a McDonald's drive-thru dash. So, that was pretty cool. So, hopefully help the guy and, to give him you talk it into being, make it happen. So, we all have the ability to do it, to play it forward. So, I know it's going to get tough out here. I've been helped a lot. I've been churches or somebody, they would have these things where they, I guess, kind of like a play it forward. And sometimes the church give people money, or sometimes they just do it themselves. And you go in a drive-thru, you order your food, and people pay for it. You drive up there, and your food's paid for. I've been to restaurants. There was a guy buying me Chick-fil-A's at, work. That's like the ultimate, Chick-fil-A, what they stand for the most part. And somebody buys you a Chick-fil-A sandwich for $5, and that's a lot of money to me. So I just had to share that. I hope I didn't go too long, but it felt pretty good. I have no idea what to call this video, but we'll figure it out. I'm off today on Mondays. The only thing, I'll be working 7 days if I do this other thing. I'm trying to get my son, I'm trying to set him up because he's very special to me, and he needs the help, and he don't see things like I do. I'm nowhere near compared to Solomon, but he said sometime doing all this stuff was foolishness, chasing after the wind. But it's whatever gives you purpose in life. Having a purpose and something to drive. Like somebody makes cookies and they're happy, that's better than them doing something else. But Solomon studied all this stuff, and some of his kids, they decided to not do what they're supposed to. And then they lost everything that he worked for. And then he did some stuff he wasn't supposed to, so he got taken away from his kids. But anyway, always keep everything in perspective. But it's just so cool. Hopefully this guy will be able to get on his feet. I mean, there's jobs out the yin yang. This little weekend job I tried to get for 4 months. So sometimes it does take a while. And if you rent $700 this month, $1,000 next month, and then it goes up another $200-$300. That's a lot of money. That's like 2 jobs right there just to pay your rent for a lot of people. It's tough. So I understand. I wish I could have helped him more. But, I got a lot on my plate. I got a sick wife, healthy physically, but, my son, he's got a lot of issues he needs help with. And hopefully my grandbabies will be good. Got them into prayers. My daughter, she got to go to a specialist because they said they can't see the spine. So, I don't believe the COVID shot would have affected it, but hopefully the baby's all right. So we just keep trucking through, man. That's all we can do. Got to watch my sugar more. And working this other job is kind of good. My wife's asleep anyway, and then when I get off work, I'm at work. So I'm not just sitting there watching TV and eating. I hadn't had a chance to watch TV in 2 weeks. I made some YouTube videos, but I hadn't really had and I've watched YouTube and TikTok. That's mostly my entertainment, but I hadn't had a chance to really watch shows. I'm going to have to make time when the last episode or series of Walking Dead comes on. I got to watch that. But I'm just having a good time, My car got hit and all, but everything's good. I just wanted to share that. So, however hopefully that make somebody's day, or people remember this years ago when we used to do the things we do now that they don't do anymore. So stay cool. Buy a cheeseburger or chicken wings. Talk to you later. Hey, we went and got these chicken wings from Little Caesars, and my wife had to have a thin crust pizza. She loves thin crust. I'm giving a thumbs up, eating with my wife and sharing it on Instagram. And I'm like, woo, yeah, it's good to have some food. Then my wife's little dog looking at us like begging for food. And my beautiful wife staring at me all happy and, doing the best she can. And that's kind of a sample where you had to order the food and pick it up at the machine, and it didn't work, and I had to get the lady to hand it to me behind the counter.